So, some of the movies I watched over vacation were the Marvel movies. A few of these I actually hadn't seen before. So Wispy finally, for the first time, saw Captain and the Winter Soldier in Civil War. I'll talk about Civil War another time. I need more context for everything for Civil War, apparently. So, do you guys want to know what Wispy thought about when it came to Captain America and the Winter Soldier, or nah? Oh, dude, the old Peggy scene fucking broke my heart. Oh, I teared up, and I was like, if Sane was in chat, he could confirm, but I was like, oh, I just yelled it in the middle of the living room. Oh, I actually really liked the movie. I, at one point, turned to Sane and was like, why isn't Captain America this much of a badass in Civil War? What'd they do to my man? Like, he was so fucking cool in this movie. Falcon was even really cool in that movie. Because the only movie I've seen with Falcon in it was, like, Civil War so far. And so this was obviously the intro movie to him, right? And I was like, dude, even Falcon was a badass. Why aren't they badass now? I mean, I think we know why. So obviously, part of the movie that didn't work with me was when they go to the old military base and they have the dude's brain uploaded into all of the machines and stuff, and the only reason it didn't work for me was I'm like, this is kind of a lame plot twist for a really minor character that you didn't build up at all, and so now I'm just supposed to be like, wait, how did we get to being able to upload brains to a massive set of computers when we still can't even figure out the superhero serum that made Steve Rogers Captain America? Wait, hold on a second. Loading screen. 56K modem sound. I'm like, this part isn't working for me. All the rest of it was fine though. The rest of the movie was fantastic. That was the only part that made me go, wait, what? I feel like we skipped a lot of technological steps, but this would have happened in the 70s or maybe the early 80s based on this computer setup. What is going on here? What was the other? Oh, and I had this problem with Iron Man 3 as well. With how interconnected, the movies are after Avengers, you're kind of like, so why aren't we getting any information onto what the other Avengers are doing while all this is happening? Yeah? I assume Iron Man 3 takes place before Winter Soldier, right? So I'm like, in Iron Man 3, why aren't we at least having S.H.I.E.L.D. trying to contact Tony brother, you just literally got your house blown up by a missile strike. What are you doing? And then in Winter Soldier, I'm like, damn, what is Tony doing? We don't even get a drop of I don't know, Tony's busy. He's not going to show up and help S.H.I.E.L.D. as the helicopter, the helipads are landing into the building. Whatever. He got better things to do, I guess. That's my only problem with interconnected movies is they don't drop and tell you what's going on with the other people as to why they would not be involved when this is kind of a big situation. Not, obviously global, but whatever, I should have had you watch the Agent Carter episode that mentioned the Red Room. That was kind of interesting. I'll figure we'll end up watching. Oh yeah, I watched the first episode of Agent Carter too. I'm watching all the MCU stuff now that it's on its dying legs, apparently. It was shown in the Hydra having the cube for even a little bit really boosted villain research bonuses. Oh, that's true. Yeah, no, good point. Movies roughly happen when released, usually, except for post-Infinity War. Yeah. So, I don't know. It's like when you learn in Iron Man 2 that Howard Stark couldn't put this new element together because the technology wasn't there, but Tony can because the technology has advanced. You're like, oh, okay, all right, that makes sense, okay. And then they're like, yeah, but in that same time also, by the way, we could upload a dude's mind to a bunch of computers, and you're sort of like, what? It's It's just a superhero movie, stars. Let it go. Just let them have. But this is when you base your like universe so much in reality, it's kind of like. I think that's why I kind of like it was much more easier to buy stuff in like the Snyder DCEU era, right? Because like they start off with Superman and you're like, oh, okay, all right, aliens are a thing, so anything's off the rails now. Okay, all right. Whereas in like Iron Man 1 is like so grounded in reality, you're like, huh? Phase 1 was like still pretty realistic, and then after Avengers 1, I guess they decided to just let the balls go and like whatever. I would say, I mean, I know everybody probably says this, but like, look, like I'm like 10 years late to some of these Marvel movies, at least, okay? I would definitely say, I think the coolest fucking scene wasn't necessarily the elevator fight, but like how Steve just like decides to throw himself out the elevator and like land into the next part of the building. I was like, this is so fucking cool. This is whole. This movie is so fucking cool. Bro, what happens? Why isn't Steve this cool in Civil War? Because I saw Civil War first. Don't ask about why I watch Marvel movies out of order, okay? Just don't ask about it. And I'm like, you know, to slightly go into Civil War, I guess. If they stuck with the idea of Steve being like, I don't like the Accords because, wow, look at everything that just happened with S.H.I.E.L.D. and Hydra. And, you know, how, S.H.I.E.L.D. totally got nuked because of Hydra. And I don't want those people telling me where I can and can't go to save lives. I'm like, that would have been a far better point. And even Tony probably would have been like, okay, but we have to be accountable. But that is a good point. And I don't like the fact that you have a good point. Like, I feel like would have been so much better than like halfway through the movie just Steve loses his brains and becomes the Bucky simp. Sorry, I didn't like it. I didn't like how they wrote Steve in Civil War, I'm sorry. But my Bucky, literally fucking Steve, the whole last half of Civil War. My Bucky. It works because the spy film first, then superhero second. Yeah, exactly. Best superhero films are not superhero films first. I would agree to this, right? That's why, like, Iron Man was so good, because it wasn't necessarily, like, a superhero movie. It was like, dude is trying to fix the mistakes of his life, you know, turnaround character arc. It was like a real big character drama, right? That's why Iron Man 1 was so good. I watched it recently. It still holds up really, really well, by the way. The only thing that dates the MCU is the technology, right? Like, because like in Falcon, right? Or I'm sorry, Captain America and the Winter Soldier, sorry. Like in that one, they pull out like fucking Zune. I'm like, holy shit, Zune hasn't been around in like forever. I was like, oh. Ah. Whereas in the only thing that dates Iron Man 1 is like the Afghanistan war. You can find me. I think Tony had more growth than Steve. If you want my opinion, I think it's because RDJ forced the character to have growth, and he like RDJ didn't just stick to the script, and he's like, oh yeah, so this is the arc my character's on for like 10 movies. I got you. Like, if you want my opinion. I'm not saying Chris Evans is a bad actor. He's not. I just think RDJ was like, I'm gonna do this even if the script tells me it's not there. Wings it. That's why the older Punisher film works better. He's a vigilante first, foremost. Then on the introduction of the story goes, and now Star-Lord likes his Zune. I like the first Guardians of the Galaxy movie. I haven't seen the third one, actually. The first two were really, really good. But yeah. The character gained growth, suit lost coolness. What? I don't like the nanomachine suits. When they stopped making the suits like kind of more prop-ish and they kind of like did just CGI suits, like they kind of started sucking even in their design. I'm just saying there's no way you can tell me Tony's suit in Endgame is as cool as the first Iron Man suit. I don't mean the one in the cave. I mean like the one that had the full colors on and everything. Like, there ain't no way you can tell me that's cooler. Ain't no way. Oh, yeah, I don't like the fact that Tony makes Peter's suit, so quite honestly. I think it would have been cooler if Peter just, like, hijacked the tower and made his own suit there and was like, sorry, boss, and rolled his way out. You know, kind of like transformed and rolled out. That would have been much better. So anyways, the spy thriller. It was cool. Wispy liked it. Stop distracting Wispy. I can't decide if I liked how Black Widow was in the movie. Honestly? Like, I'm on the fence about it a lot. I don't want to say her character was done wrong or different. I just thought she was kind of cooler in Iron Man 2. And I'm pretty sure at one point I said, damn, I miss her curly hair from Iron Man 2. Like, I felt she was actually just more badass in Iron Man 2 than she was in, The Winter Soldier. But, you know, like, they still did her well. I wouldn't say, like, she was out of character or anything. Another one of the favorite scenes I had in the movie was like when they go to the Smithsonian and they have that whole like history section set up for Captain America and like his old crew back in World War II. I was like, oh, I would go and look at this IRL because everybody knows here I'm a history nerd. Wispy's a history nerd, so that like hit me in like a very specific like personal spot. I was like, yeah, that would be me. I would be one of these weirdos that would go to this if, like, you know, if this was, like, a real thing. So, basically, Disney should make it a real thing at an attraction park. I'm just saying. But she becomes less badass over time. It's because they're like, we can't have the sexy spy lady. I'm like, sorry, Black Widow is sexy. I'm just, that's how she's supposed to be. I try to slot Black Widow in scenarios that she's clearly not rated for. I mean, I think she had a good, like, she needed to be in this movie, right? You know, because it's dealing with S.H.I.E.L.D. and all of that. Like, that is the right place to have her. And they utilized her well. Well, just think she was kind of hotter in Iron Man 2. I'm just saying. And, like, they were able to bring a new dynamic to her character with, you know, the whole undermining, like, Fury thing. They did that really well. I'm trying to, like, go through the movie again in my head, like, as, like, Cliff Notes thing of like stuff that I wanted to know about that I wanted to talk about, and I'm like, ooh, now that I'm actually trying to think about it. Do you mind, Nate? Jeez. I would say it didn't feel like a CGI slop, which is nice. Obviously there were some parts that were CGI, but like it was like used where it needed to be. We're talking about Winter Soldier. Yeah. Since, you know, Wispy is like 6 ever late to watching some of the Marvel movies. And it is what it is. It is what it is. It is what it is. Peak Cap before my Bucky. I've already mentioned that, but yes. Like, why not just keep him this badass all the time? I'm just saying. My man. Yeah, the thing with Peggy, it hurt. I was like, oh. Oof. Like, especially having, you know, helped, like, taking care of someone through end of life care, right? You're like, oh man, I know what this is like. And then she just like, oh, Steve, you're back. I'm like, oh god. It was actually, I think, one of the best scenes in the movie. Hi, Cheesy. Hello. Welcome in. Like, it was actually one of the best scenes in the movie because it was so well acted by both actors. Like, oh. So, like, on one hand, you get why Steve is so Bucky, because it's, like, the one thing, like, the one tie he's got left back to, like, you know, the time he came from and stuff. You get it. But, no, we need to talk about Civil War at another time once I've seen it again. Oh, yeah, I mean, yeah, no, like, they nailed that scene, man. They knocked it out of the park. It was so good. Like, the action was well paced. I never felt like the movie kind of dragged, other than, like, maybe I think the where they were fighting Bucky on the road, I was kind of like, yeah, all right, okay, whatever. Overpass scene, yeah, I've seen this in Transformers. Oh yeah, okay, okay, whatever. But I wouldn't say there was like anything in the movie that felt needless. The dude with his brain uploaded to it was a little contrived. Like, here's a plot to make the plot move, like plot point kind of thing. But I wouldn't say it was bad, just sort of like what I think probably the most undercooked part of the movie, honestly. I didn't care about the Nick Fury shit. I know everybody's like, it's Nick Fury and Samuel L. Jackson's a badass. I'm like, I just kind of don't care about him. I'm sorry. And I kind of don't care about S.H.I.E.L.D. because I was like, ew, it's the government agency telling superheroes what to do. This is stinky. I like the Justice League more where they come together all on their own. This is gross. I have uploaded my brain to the internet. No, I received missiles, pretty much. Like, actually, no, they did fire missiles at that base. Zane's not wrong. That was actually exactly what happened. Except it wasn't the internet. It was just a bunch of old computers, because the one that gets uploaded to the internet is Ultron. So, yeah, basically everybody in the movie was cool. Even Falcon was pretty badass. I like having soldiers that act like soldiers. You know, that's actually why I liked the earlier Transformers movies a lot when no one else really did. Because I've grown up, like, around military people, right? I'm like, nah, that's how military people are, and I appreciate this. So, like... So Steve just giving, like, Falcon shit the entire time about on your left. Like, I'm like, this is good. This is good. And then I've seen what they did to Falcon post Endgame, and he's not even badass anymore. And I'm like, oh. I'm kind of glad I wasn't invested in the MCU to start with, because I'd be even madder. I would be big mad. So yeah, it was a good movie. I actually liked it a lot more than I thought it would, because I wasn't sure how much I was gonna like it. I really liked the first Captain America movie. But I didn't know how... I really feel like Steve needed, like, a like fish out of water story, right? Where they have time with him adjusting and really kind of coming to grips to how different the world is, versus just kind of like having some like comments here and there. Like the list he had of like all the movies and stuff he had to catch up on. I liked that. Especially because it said Star Wars and Star Trek, and I was like the gif of God, what's his name? Leonardo DiCaprio, like, I know that. And of course, the Trek part stuck out first because I'm a nerd, but still. Yeah, I've watched Cap 1. I love Captain America 1. I mean, I like Iron Man more, and I've always liked Iron Man 1 more, but I loved the first Captain America movie. I love period drama movies, and that's what made that one so good, was it was a period war film first, and I was like, yes, this is good stuff. That's why I was like really not sure if I was gonna like Captain and the Winter Soldier, because I was like, we're going from like a period film to a spy film about an